I'm going to just basically talk to you about pretty much a part 2 of what I did a few hours ago. So write this down. There are possibilities in the cloud, and there are possibilities in the depth. There are possibilities in where? In the clouds. And there are possibilities in depth. Now look up. Every year we have seasons, right? We have, how many seasons in Africa? We have the Harmattan season. We have the dry and wet season. That's over. The wet season is the rainy season. Call it in our own language. I don't know dry and wet. I know Harmattan. That's the dry season. Then there's what? Thank you. Now, the rainy season is a season. It means that there is no part of Nigeria that has rains throughout the year. Am I correct? Because the raining season, or what you may call the wet season, is but for a season. So there are potentials in the cloud, and one of those potentials is the ability to harvest the rain. Come on, say harvest the rain. Now, but when you harvest the rain, it is seasonal. It is seasonal. However, if you dig a well, it is not seasonal. The clouds are visible. The aquifer underneath the ground are not visible. So let me call Chris. Chrissy, come. Isn't she lovely? So stand there, let them see you very well. And she's single also. If you want her phone number, you come through me. I'm the agent. Yeah, she's one of my precious ones. So Chrissy is a very lovely lady. But the reason why Chrissy is standing here today has nothing to do with how she looks. I'm not sure in her lifetime she will ever see her brain. She may never see her brain, neither will you. I'm not sure in her lifetime you will ever see her intestines. And I pray you don't. Because if you have to, then that means something was terribly wrong. But she may never see, she may see pictures of intestines on YouTube, but she may never see her own. And she may never see her brain. She should never, actually. But she's a pretty girl. Beautiful jacket, lovely trousers, beautiful shoes. Many times, we estimate life by this beauty. But the things that make for life can't be seen with the eyes. If we feed Christine with lovely dresses, nice makeup, beautiful hair, and we deprive her of water and food for 2 months, what do you think will happen? What do you think will happen? Yes, we threaten her very existence. If we starve her for just 2 months, she's over 20 years. But if you take her on a starving journey for 2 months, you put her life at risk. Many of you have fed this in your lives. In your business, you put a lot of investment in the visible. In your marriage, you put a lot of makeup. You know, many of you, your homes have makeup. Because you need to make up for something. You know what I'm saying? Many of you, in your academics, you have a very lovely dress and a very lovely jeans, beautiful shoes, black with silver something. But your stomach is empty. The kidney is dying. The liver is dying. The brain is crushing. But because we can't see it, you don't feed it. I see that now. I'm trying to say to you that it is the invisible that gives the visible essence. Write it down. In everything that you are about, it is the invisible that gives the visible essence. Number 2 is that the invisible is always more important than the visible. In the climb of business and your general personal development, we call the invisible potential. Say potential. Potential is something that has the ability to produce, but is yet to be birthed. Am I correct? So if I say you have the potential for growth, it means that you have the ability to grow, even if you are not growing. The fact that you are not growing doesn't mean that you cannot grow. It's just that you are not investing in growth. But everybody has got potential. And potential mostly is potential because it is invisible. The moment you begin to engage potential, it's no longer potential. Is that making sense? It's only potential when it's in the climb of the unseen. And many of you will never invest in the unseen. You are always driven by the visible. So you've heard Architect Ene and Mr. Samuel, and that has become your new vision. Photography, medicine is over. I do picture till I die. Because you are always driven by the visible. Because in our minds, the visible is usually the possible. But true possibilities lie in the invisible. One of the biggest errors of our age is that we estimate virtue, values, and worth by the visible. Many of you are listening to these guys today because of the visible. If I didn't tell you that this guy is one of the biggest guys in photography, you won't hear him. You won't hear him. You probably took him more seriously than Agdet Uche. You know what I'm saying? Because Agdet Uche didn't show you video with a governor. You didn't even know, you just did it here. Because your mind is always driven by the visible. And there are people that eat and dine with governors that have worthless lives because they have no nurturing of the invisible. They drive the biggest cars and they take 8 tablets to sleep 2 hours at night. But your prayer is that one day, may I be like, yes. The measure of merit in the invisible always outweighs the elegance of the visible. And the reason why I'm emphasizing on this is because many of you, you don't need to quit your job. Because you may not need to change your situation. You just need to change perception. You can be where you are and extend beyond your location. Yes. Yes. And many of you have failed in your venture because you have made your possible too visible too early. You didn't get that. You know, there are possibilities that are timed. There are things that you must do and become that must wait. When you unravel your possibilities too early, you bring heavy risk on what you can become. It means that when you begin to dig deep into your depths to unlock the invisible, you must understand that there is a timing for when the possible should be allowed to become visible. There's some things you have in your heart. You need like 8 years. 8 years to keep asking questions, keep learning, keep researching, keep following, keep asking questions, keep learning, keep researching, keep following. And then by the 8th year, you finally make that dream visible. And then when you now do, like Mr. Sam, you say, very fast, in 3 years, from nowhere. No. Is this making sense to you? Please sit down. Thank you very much. My lovely Christine. The invisible has no respect for seasons. Write it down. And the reason why this is very critical for me is because some of you are going through things in your life that seems worthless because the visible merit of the things you're going through looks very little. it doesn't look like there's anything that's going to come out from everything you've gone through, because everything you've gone through has no merit in the evaluation of others. Is that making sense? Nobody's applauding what you are going through now, because, one of the realities of digging deep, I said there are virtues in the clouds and there are virtues in depths. Am I correct? You see, if you are truly digging, a point will come, they will not see you again. You didn't get it. You need a bucket to collect rainwater. You need digger. And if you must really hit the well from where you have seasonless flow, a point will come in that digging process that they won't even see your head again. It may take you 3 months to dig a well that will sustain you for 30 years. But in those 3 months of digging, in learning, in studying, in serving, a point will come, you will become absolutely invisible. Sometimes, even the ones you are digging for will not thank you. You know why? Because they can't see you. You are what? Because the more you dig, the more invisible you become. In fact, a point will come in your digging process that you become inaudible. You become invisible and you become inaudible. People will stop seeing you and stop hearing you. And then you will think that you are becoming irrelevant. Meanwhile, you are about to unlock something that will change your life forever. Yeah. That is where we have lost it in our generation. And that has become one of my newest passions, to quiet the noise. To quiet the noise. The things that the visible social media has done to us is to stir up noise. And great voices that brings direction is usually quiet. The things that can change your life are not usually loud. Does that make sense? The goal is that you unlock the invisible and you make the invisible possible, and then you make the possible visible. We're about to do something next year, hopefully, that looks very invisible. Before I say that, I was counseling, I spoke somewhere in Benue State, and some people asked, they wanted to have one-on-one sessions with me. So I was counseling a young man, and he said that my family and I were just petty farmers. We're just petty farmers. We're just petty farmers. And I was broken by that description, because there's nothing petty about farming. Because I'm about to do something next year that in 5 months is going to yield, just trying to be modest, I don't want to call figures, but it's going to yield over 200 million in profit. In the same land where this guy is saying he's a petty farmer. Are you following me now? Because he's analyzing his life by the way we described the visible. I am coming into the field that he wants to run away from. Because he's not seeing what I'm saying. He is in the right location, but has no perception. And I'm trying to enter his own industry with a different perception that will unlock untold possibilities, and you will hear about it. Yes. Because what we're about to do is going to unlock possibilities for many Nigerians. Only because I had respect for the invisible. I'm done. Thank you.